Hello guys, welcome back to Software Programming Teacher channel. Today I am going to discuss on introduction of design pattern. Today I have selected some points, topics. What is Singleton design pattern? And then rules and checklist for Singleton design pattern. Where do we use Singleton design pattern? Demo code examples. There are 3 points, three level of examples we have here. One is normal Singleton design pattern without thread safe singleton design pattern, thread safe singleton design pattern. I'm going to give complete programming knowledge on in demo code example. Let's move to next topic. Yeah, if you want to know what is design pattern, please watch my previous video for introduction of design pattern. It will give complete introduction and basic knowledge on design patterns. The question comes now. What is singleton design pattern? We will feel like what is singleton design pattern means. We will think like any specific language is there. The interviewer asking any language specification. See, don't bother about the languages. Languages means programming languages. Is there C sharp? Is there C++? Is there Java? Or anything. Please think about what is singleton design pattern. Then only we will come to know what is design pattern and what is singleton design pattern. What singleton design pattern will do. If we go with specific language, in that time we will think like the singleton design pattern completely depending on C sharp language or C++ language or Java. Please don't go with specific programming language. Please think about general solution, general topic or generic words for singleton design pattern. Then only we can write our own thoughts. Otherwise we will think like okay, C sharp means some people can example I'm giving you. If you're giving any demo or if I'm giving any presentation, if I'm teaching someone, in that time we'll mention like we are going to give demo in C sharp. That means in the time very easily the C++ guy or Java guy will think like this is not our cup of coffee. Just forget about buddies. There is no specific language for patterns. There is no concept. This is a generic concept, generic solution. Let's move to definition. Singleton pattern is one of the simplest and lazy design patterns. Yes, it's a very simplest and lazy design patterns. See, as I told, general for all languages. Yes, this pattern is general for all languages. Example, C sharp, C++, Java and all OOPS concept. We can use in Python also. We can use in Ruby also. See, depends how we will write our code. That's a very important. This is a type of creational design patterns. Yes. Let's move to point number 2. These patterns involve a single class which is responsible to create an object while making sure that only single object created. Yes. We know the single means actually one. Okay, the object whenever we creating or whenever we calling or whenever we using or whenever we giving that object to client, in that time it will create only one object. It will not create more than one object. If it is creates more than one object, that means we are not writing code and we are not following checklist and rules. In the next slide, I'm going to provide you complete details about checklist and rules we have to follow before starting singleton design pattern. Point number 3. The class provides a way to access its only one object which can be accessed directly without need any initiate. The object of the class. Yes, the initiate that it will create in the singleton class only. The client will not create any specific instantiate for that particular object. That's a very important we have to understand. See, I have one pattern flow here. See, we have created singleton class object. The class object we have one method get singleton instance, that is static method. Requests, we'll get request for this instance 3 to 4 classes. This example purpose I am giving only 3 classes. We can use multiple classes also, there is no issue, but this example purpose I am giving only 3 classes. Class 1 request instance, class 2 request instance, class 3 request instance. Now just I have one question, please add this answer in my description comment section. How many objects are created in this particular request? Yes, if thinking like one, it's absolutely right. If I'm thinking like three, absolutely wrong. Because whatever we're talking, that singleton class object, if I'm getting more than three classes also, it will create only one instance. It will not create more than one instance. That's the beauty of singleton design pattern. Let's move to rules and checklists. Yes, this is a very important. Please think before starting singleton design pattern functionality. Create singleton. Let's move to point number one. Create singleton class in C Sharp or C++ or Java and then etc. That means I'm mentioning. I'm not going with any specific language. Every time I'm mentioning this point, I'm not going with specific language because of we don't want to get confused on that. If I'm going to show demo in the C sharp, please don't think about that's in the this singleton design pattern work in C sharp. This will work in all OOPS concept languages. Please don't get confused here. We can use any programming language. Create a private static variable in the singleton class. In the example, I will show you how the private static variable in the singleton class, where we will use that one. Create public static method or function in the singleton class. Yes, this is also I'm going to give you with complete description with example I will give you in the demo class, because of if I'm saying like just public static method function in the singleton class means easily people can think like what is this, maybe they can get confused. That's the reason I'm going to give complete in details with these methods in the demo class. Create constructor to be a private. Yes, if I'm not creating private constructor, if I am creating public constructor, the public constructor the client can create instance for that particular object. If client can create the instance for that particular object, there is no need for singleton design pattern. That's the reason. Please don't create public constructor for singleton design pattern. Make sure if everything's working fine. Client may only use the accessor, the public function to manipulate the singleton. Yes, the public static method or function. Please, before starting singleton design pattern, please check please follow the rules and checklist. Where we can use this singleton design pattern? That's actually very everywhere they will ask this question because nowadays actually when we are sitting in front of interviewer, we will say very proudly we know singleton design pattern. Why means this is very easy and then some people can think like we can use everywhere. If an interviewer asking like where we can use this singleton pattern, immediately that fellow say like we can use this that this that. No man, please think. The interviewer asking question, he knows where we can use this design pattern, singleton design pattern. Just giving blah blah blah, it will not work. Use singleton design pattern in your project when a class in your program should have just a single instance available to all clients or all project or etc. That means when I'm creating singleton class, that means that is actually it will use for all clients. The n number of clients can use this instance and then he can do manipulation or whatever you want to data change, they can do it. But if I don't want to give these things to client, I don't want to use multiple I don't want to use this in the whole project, then there is no use for this creating a singleton design pattern. If I'm creating singleton design pattern means the instance one for whole project or the see example the application start, application end. If I'm using singleton design pattern, the application start means the singleton design pattern object will start. Application end means it will end the object. That means it will destroy the object. In between, the GC will not destroy this object because this is static instance. Please, before going or before creating singleton design pattern, if I can say like I can create a number of singleton design pattern in my project. I don't think so. It's not necessary. If you are going to create a number of singleton design patterns in your project, that's some reason is required. There is no reason and there is no required. Just you creating. There is a big leak in memory. There is a big leak in memory. Please think before creating singleton design pattern. For example, I'm giving two examples here. Single database connection, object shared by different parts of the program. Yes, just you feel like now I'll give you example. The project is expecting only one connection, database connection. Even though SQL or Oracle or OLDZ, we have a n number of databases, but database connection is expected only one. If I'm using only one database connection, in that time my performance will be good. Just for sake, just I'm creating a connection and then using connection. If I'm not killing some way the limit of the connection crash, then what will happen? The database will crash or our application will crash. If we are going to give or I am going to give this kind of solution to client or someone, if the project crash, in that time it will create bad impression on us. That's the reason when we thinking or when we creating any design pattern, we have to think 1 to 10 times. That's design pattern will fit for that part of the project or not. One more example I'm going to give here, the single log object shared by different parts of the program. Yes, see, when we want to write a log in the log file or somewhere else, in that time everywhere we are creating the log and opening file and writing file. See, the file operation is a big, and then if I forgot closing that file operation, what will happen? See, one place the code reviewer will be do the code review. He will check all places. Some places he can also miss it. In that what will happen? The memory will leak, the project application will crash, will get bad impression with stakeholder or clients. That's the reason. Whatever we doing or whatever we creating or whatever we using patterns, the pattern should very well before starting. Without having any knowledge, just for learning, please don't try in the projects, live projects. Please try in the demo projects or your learning purpose in your home. Let's. This is a big one now. Demo code examples. We have a three type of projects. One normal single design pattern without thread safe singleton design pattern, thread safe singleton design patterns. Let's move to demo. Already I have three projects here. One is normal singleton design pattern with without thread safe singleton design pattern with thread safe design pattern. Just go by one. Set project as start project. Yeah, I'll give you example now. As per our rules, we have created checklist point two, checklist point one, checklist point three. See here actually, as I mentioned in the previous slide in the checklist or rules, what I mentioned, singleton, we can create singleton design pattern class. See, I have created here with public class. Then point number two, static variable. See here we are create a static variable, private static singleton instance. Checklist point four, and then number point checklist point number three. As I mentioned in the slide, create one function, the static function. This is a static function. We have a logic. I will explain you logic. Before explaining logic, just I'm giving what are the checklist points here. And then checklist point number four, we must create private constructor. See here, I have using private constructor. I'm not using public constructor. Please, before starting, follow these rules. Point number one, checklist point number one, checklist point number two, checklist point number three, and checklist point number four. It's a very important for starting singleton design pattern. Now, logic. What will happen? Singleton design pattern I have created, whether that is null or not. If null, I am going to create instance for that object. If not null, I'm not going to create any instance for that because of already this is static. It will sit in the static heap memory. It will not destroy. Even though GC will run GC0, GC1, GC2, even if the GC will complete its life cycle in that time also, the instance will not kill or it will not destroy through the GC, because this is static, and then once the user will be kill this object, then only it will destroy. Otherwise the application should close, then only the instance will close. Okay, let's start this one. We can see here 5. Normal singleton design pattern response is 5. Yes. What I did, singleton, the static method, then the function. Static method is actually instance. It will holding the instance here. After this instance, whatever we calling, we can use this one. What is responding this one? This is 5. We can see here 2 plus 3, 5, 5. Let's move to without thread safe function. Here also we have to think checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, checkpoint 4. You can see here checkpoint 1 I am creating singleton design pattern, checkpoint 2 I am creating 2, 3. Checkpoint 2 I am creating instance for this one, checkpoint 3 I am creating static method for this one. I am giving thread sleep for 100 milliseconds because of I wanted to show without thread safe how it works, and then how it will create the multiple instances. With even though we are using here, what we are using, instance equal to null. If instance is not equal to null, then it will not enter here. If instance is equal to null, then it will enter. But some operations we have in this singleton constructor, the user can change, or user can add some functionality in the constructor also while creating instance for these classes. That's the reason I'm using the, for example purpose, thread sleep for 100 milliseconds. Here I'm calling 3 threads and 3 functions. We can think like here 3 clients calling 3 instance for to generate. Let's start this program. See, we can see here what is the instance count, 1, 2. We have a 2 instance here, but response is same, but actually expected count is 1. Let's try one more time. What is the count I'll get? 2 only. See, now we can see here how many instances is created. I'm having 3 threads. It's created 3 instance count. 1, 2, 3, and then total count is 3. See, response is same, but instances are created 3 here. That means we are not using thread safe functionality. Just we are writing singleton design pattern. That's a thing. We have to follow rules and then we have to think thread safe how it works. Because of we are talking about multiple clients can hit in the same time. In that time, what will happen? It will create the object for all clients. That's not good actually. We are expecting only for if I am going to use the singleton design patterns means I am expecting only that particular count. I'm not expecting any more than one object for that singleton design patterns even though 10 clients if use I don't worry about, but I'm expecting only one instance for this one. Let's move to with thread safe how it works. Here also I'm following same checklist rules. Checklist 1, checklist 4, checklist 2, checklist 3. What I'm doing, I'm creating singleton object class and then I'm creating private variable, static variable, and then I'm creating public static function, and then I'm creating private constructor. Now we are talking about thread safe. This is a thread safe. See, we have a number of thread locks. We can consider semaphore, mutex, task, a number of locks, and we have now newly introduced some major changes in the thread also. But thing is, I'm giving example here. Lock what will happen at enter here. It will check whether the instance is created or not. If not, it will create the instance here and then it will wait for to finish whatever we have action in that particular constructor. It will finish the constructor action and then it will come out. After coming out only it will enter next thread. From line number 64 to line number 68, the in between we have a lock. The lock will be handled the multiple object creation. It allow only one thread to do operation. Here actually just I'm giving here example. First I'm checking whether the instance is equal to null or not. If this is not null, it will not come inside only. If this is null, then what will happen? It will come to here. In between, it taking time. If I'm not giving lock, just as per a previous example, all thread will hit. It will wait for to finish this one. If this is for true, then if we enter this condition inside in that time, if how many threads will enter, that many instance will create here. That's the reason we have to think properly. Now I'm showing same as we are using without the thread safe functionality. I am using 3 threads and 3 functions. We can think this one also like as 3 clients. Let's do start. See how many instances created? One. Only one. Let's try one more time. One. One. I will give some more delay in the constructor. 500 milliseconds. The 500 milliseconds also it's creating only one thread. That means If n number of it's even the hits, it will not allow to create any particular instance for that particular threads. Once the instance is created for that class, then there is no option to create another instance for another client. The client will, if having n number of clients, the client can use same instance for all clients, or they can use everywhere. Hello guys, thanks for watching this video. In the next video I'm going to give presentation and example for abstract factory. Please subscribe this channel and like and share, and please provide me your observation and then comments. The comments is very important for us to take forward and then improve our skills. Thank you. Thanks for watching.